Good morning, guys. My name is Andy, and this is my hilariously ugly trunk setup. Now, this isn't normally a problem because I keep a cover over it and it's hidden all the time, but I have to pull my battery because I've got to swap it, and in order for me to pull the battery, everything has to come out. So if we're pulling everything out, we might as well redo it and make it better. So today, that's what we're up to. Now, this was kind of a last-minute thing, so I've got some fittings coming in the mail, but they're not here yet. They should be here later this week. So we're going to tackle that problem a little bit later. But first, just in case we need to rerun some airlines, we're going to get the car up so I can air it out and get it on some jack stands. Alright, now that that's done, we just have to air out all of the bags so we can relieve the entire system of pressure. We'll drain the tank later. Now, I know the rears are going to be fine, but the fronts are kind of scaring me a little bit, just because of how low this is to the ground and also pivoting on those jack stands. Just do like each corner at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain the tank. I think I'll just pop one of the water traps and do it, and then start unhooking everything and get the whole system out. And all I have to do is just crack open this little thing here. Oh, there we go. We're just going to let that drain, and I'll start pulling cords, pulling hoses, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, and the whole thing will just out. Okay, everything that could be in the way is out of the way, so I should just be able to pull this out. Okay, there we go. We're just going to set this right here, because now what I have to do is undo the airlift harness and get that out because it is stuck to the compressors. So what I've decided will be easier than pulling everything out is to undo the compressors because they are wired into the harness. But then if I were to pull the compressors off, then I can just template them on the new plate once I build it and then screw them in here in the trunk so I don't have to worry about too much more wiring. Now, this is what you don't want to see. I had to pull some pipes off, and I don't know if you can see in there. There's a little bit of gunk in there, which means my water traps weren't really doing their job, or I just wasn't clearing them out. We're going to aim for the latter there. Oops! But we got the whole setup out. The compressors are still in the trunk. What we're going to do now is I'm actually just going to swap the battery right now, and then we can get on to remaking this platform. You can see it was made out of some speaker carpet. I did some jerry rigging here. What I think I'm actually going to do is just Velcro this to the top of the battery and then run my lines through that way. So let's go ahead, get the tank off, get the manifold off, get the new battery in, and then we'll get started on replicating that. So this is what happens when you A, don't drain your tank, or B, your water traps don't work. Look at that. That's nasty. Okay, so we have our old board here, and then we have our brand new piece of MDF that we're going to use. So what we're going to do is grab this, plop that down, and we're basically going to mark the same shape because it's the same thing that goes in here, except I'm going to go a 1/2 inch smaller in every dimension. So let's go ahead and get that marked, and we're going to head over to my uncle's and have him rip it down for us. All right, so we got all the boards cut. They're pretty much ready to go in the car. They just have to get everything attached to it and the leather put on it. But guys got to eat, so we're going to do that, and then we'll get to putting them in. All right, everybody, I big backed the heck out of that, and we got our board here, and you will see, minus all of the cables and everything, let's see, fits pretty good. I mean, obviously it's not on anything, but what we're going to do, lop the head off and use some washers and some bolts to make a makeshift stanchions for it to stand on. So I do need to go get some more of these, and then we'll be all set to go. So I just got back from the hardware store, and they actually had these cool little threaded rods here in M8 by 1.25, which is exactly what we needed. So I went ahead and put those in, and right now I got the holes drilled in the board as well. So I'm just trying to get them test fit to kind of figure out what height I need to. And then I'm going to use some nuts and washers to kind of space it up from the bottom, lock it into place, and then we're going to do the spacing for the board and use those as a stanchion. There's no way this just happened. I had the battery hold down in the vise and it came loose, and it fell into this bucket of oil. So we're gonna try to pull it out. Oh no. Did a little bit of off-stream grinding and I got those studs in. I got the washer spaced on them, and now the platform is in and it's, you know, somewhat standing on its own. We're gonna have to do a little bit of finagling, but I think we can get it. Okay, so another trip to the hardware store later. Got some more brass pieces so I can fit an air chuck in. And honestly, it's not looking like I'm gonna be able to do anything special compared to what I did last time, aside from relocating my manifold. Everything else is gonna be pretty much the exact same. Loop the lines into the brass, into the tank, from the tank to the manifold out, obviously. So we are going to go ahead and pull our panel out and get the leather cut, sprayed, and then wrapped on the board so it can look nice and pretty, and then we'll get it in the car and start final assembly. Good morning, guys. It is now day 2 of working on this project, and we have got our board wrapped, holes drilled, and right now we just need to build our brass off of our tank, include our new air chuck, make something of this mess, and then get it in the car. It's coming together pretty quick. We've got everything back into the trunk, so all I really need to do right now is get my compressors mounted. I've got one kind of mocked up here. I need to get the other one mocked up. I need to get this screwed down before, actually. And then just button everything up, and then we should be good to get some air going. Minor oversight on my part. The right side compressor is like basically touching either my water trap or my battery. I think I've got it in a place where it doesn't touch either of them, but it's not as neat and tidy as my old one was. My old one was a little bit higher in the vehicle. So it looks like for the moment everything is airtight. I haven't secured the manifold yet. The adhesive is a little too cold to stick, so I'm just gonna get it on the ground, pump the car full of heat, and then we'll get the adhesive on. But until then, we're just gonna get some air into the tires so I can drop it, and then get it on a level surface so I can start it. Well, a couple hours, an outfit change, and a family gathering later, it is done. I did a little bit, well, all of it, off camera because I was in a little bit of a rush, but it is all in. Now the manifold is velcroed to the battery right now, and it's in kind of a precarious position, but the plan is eventually to get a mount and either drill it in through here or through the top and have it sit there. We had a couple leaks, but they were fixed. I ended up pulling the air chuck out, and I'm just gonna find some new parts that fit better without all the adapters. But that's gonna do it for this one. I don't know how to do outros, but that's gonna do it for this one. We're gonna keep riding on this until something else breaks. Hopefully soon we'll be getting some more parts to install. But until then, stay safe.